Imagine you are at a dinner party. Someone casually mentions they just maxed out their 401k for the 12th year in a row. Another person talks about the rental property they bought last summer. A third chimes in about their brokerage account, crossing some milestone you didn't even know existed. Meanwhile, you are sitting there doing mental math, trying to remember if you even have a 401k, and whether that $8,000 sitting in it actually counts as retirement savings. You smile politely and nod along, but inside, your stomach is doing that thing where it drops and stays there. Later that night, you are lying in bed, staring at the ceiling. The question starts spiraling. Is it too late? Am I going to be working until I am 75? Here is what nobody at that dinner party will admit. Half of them are lying. The guy talking about his rental property didn't mention that it has been vacant for 3 months and is bleeding him dry. The woman who maxed out her 401k has $40,000 in credit card debt she is hiding from her husband. They have learned to perform confidence because that is what adults apparently do. And the anxious knot in your stomach exists because society handed you a checklist for success that was written in 1985, when a single income could support a family of 4. The benchmarks you are measuring yourself against are fundamentally broken. Financial advisors love to throw around this rule. By age 40, you should have 3 times your annual salary saved for retirement. Earning $80,000 a year means you should have $240,000 tucked away. Sounds reasonable until you look at the brutal reality. According to the Federal Reserve's most recent survey, the median retirement savings for Americans aged 35 to 44 is approximately $45,000. Let me repeat that. Half of all Americans in this age group have less than $45,000 saved. So if you are sitting there with $50,000, you are actually doing better than most of your peers. The benchmarks that make you feel like a failure were created by financial institutions that profit from your anxiety. They want you to feel behind, so you will buy their products and pay their fees. But let's talk about what happens when you look at your bank account and realize you are starting from 0 at 40. The instinct is to panic. You might even feel a strange urge to just give up. This is where a mathematical truth becomes your ultimate weapon. Catching up in your 40s is actually easier than building from scratch in your 20s. There is a mathematical reason for this called contribution intensity. A 25-year-old might only be able to invest $200 per month, but a 40-year-old with an established career might be able to invest $1,500. Let me show you why starting late but aggressive always beats starting early but passive. Someone who invests $200 per month from age 25 to 65 at 8% returns ends up with about $700,000. But someone who invests $1,500 per month from age 40 to 65 at the same return ends up with over $1.3 million. The late starter contributed more total dollars, but they also ended up with nearly twice the wealth. Contribution intensity matters more than time when you are working with a 25-year runway. Your 40s might actually be the most powerful wealth-building decade of your entire life. Let me introduce you to someone I will call Marcus. His story illustrates exactly how the catch-up game works. Marcus hit 40 with $22,000 in retirement savings, a car payment, and about $8,000 in credit card debt. He was earning $85,000, but felt like he was barely keeping his head above water. Over the following 7 years, Marcus executed a catch-up strategy that completely transformed his financial picture. He didn't win the lottery. He just followed a systematic 4-phase approach. Phase 1: stopping the bleeding. Marcus spent one weekend doing a complete audit of his monthly expenses. He discovered he was paying for 3 streaming services he barely used, a gym membership he hadn't touched in 8 months, and premium subscriptions he forgot about. He also refinanced his car loan to a lower interest rate. Within 30 days, Marcus had freed up nearly $500 per month through pure optimization. No sacrifice required, just eliminating waste. Phase 2. Debt elimination. Marcus threw every extra dollar at his credit card balance. He didn't invest during this phase. He attacked the debt with single-minded intensity because credit card interest is a guaranteed negative 20% return on your money. No investment can reliably compete with that guaranteed loss. 8 months later, the credit card debt was gone. He now had $850 per month freed up for wealth building. Phase 3. The emergency fund. Before investing aggressively, he spent 4 months building his emergency fund from $2,000 to $15,000. Without an emergency fund, any unexpected expense forces you back into debt. You end up on a treadmill. The emergency fund breaks that cycle permanently. Phase 4. The catch-up contribution superpower. This is where being older actually helps you. The IRS allows catch-up contributions to retirement accounts starting at age 50. You are allowed to contribute thousands of dollars more than younger workers. Marcus maxed out his employer match immediately, which was essentially a 50% instant return on his money. Then, he increased his contribution rate by 1% every 6 months. This gradual approach prevented lifestyle shock. But here is the most important part: income acceleration and lifestyle deflation. When Marcus got a promotion that increased his salary by $22,000 annually, he didn't spend that raise. He maintained his existing lifestyle and invested the entire difference. This single decision put an extra $1,400 per month into his investment accounts. By age 49, just 7 years after starting with almost nothing, Marcus had accumulated over $380,000 in retirement savings. His only debt was his mortgage. He was on track to retire comfortably at 62 with over $1.2 million in investment assets. There is a psychological trap that derails more catch-up attempts than any mathematical challenge. It is called financial paralysis. You know you need to take action. You watch videos about building wealth, but you never actually start because the gap between where you are and where you should be feels insurmountable. The shame of being behind creates avoidance, and avoidance makes the gap wider. This spiral needs to break today. The way you break it is by taking one specific action within the next 48 hours. If you have high-interest debt, open a balance transfer credit card with a 0% introductory rate and move your balances. If you have no debt but no savings, set up an automatic transfer of $200 per paycheck into a high-yield savings account. Automation removes willpower from the equation. If you have savings but aren't investing, log into your 401k portal and increase your contribution by 2%. Not someday, not after you do more research. Today, one action, 48 hours. Motion creates motivation, not the other way around. The benchmarks aren't the point. What you do next is the point. 10 years from now, you will either look back at this moment as the turning point when you finally got serious about your financial future, or you will be having the same anxious feelings at the next dinner party. The choice is yours. Hit the subscribe button, and let's start building real wealth together.